Anime and manga have spawned some of the best romance stories in all of fiction, and many of these couples set the standard on how to write an intriguing and fun couple. A few off the top of my head would be Marin and Gojo from My Dress Up Darling, Mama and Jinshi from Apothecary Diaries, the Piccolo and Ore Farming. And you know why these stories are so effective? It's because they actually focus on building one couple instead of randomly throwing in a dumbass love triangle. I cannot begin to describe the amount of times a show has presented the central couple just to throw in an extra character whose sole purpose is to create fake tension and annoy the protagonist. Like, I know the random side character that shows up in episode 4 isn't gonna swoop in and just steal the love interest. Like, instead of making a whole new character, that time could have been better used to bring the future couple together. And if you want tension, let them have discourse between their ideologies and have them work it out together. I find it a lot more intriguing when we get to see a couple share their opinions and have to deal with potentially conflicting beliefs, or have one of them be going through something and be helped out by the other person. There are plenty of ways you can add tension to a developing romance without another character. It honestly confuses me as to why authors feel the need to do this. It often divides the fanbase into groups that swear by each love interest, and whichever team doesn't win becomes bitter about the ending. I get that for harem anime, the whole point of it is to have multiple love interests, but 95% of the time, it's pretty garbage, so it doesn't really bother me anyways. Except in my opinion, Useki did pick the worst girl in the end. But something that did bother me was a show that got more episodes than it deserved. Nisekoi. Now initially, it starts off as this okay rom-com with blue-haired anime boy who has to pretend to date the rival gang leader's daughter, Chitoge.
Worst girl, by the way.
So they can be peaceful amongst each other. And already, this is really dumb. Why do we need teenagers fake dating for this to happen? Is there no other way than making your kids pretend to like each other to bring peace amongst each other? Like, you can't just shake hands and be nice? But anyways, that's not even the dumbest part. This goober Ichigo has been carrying around a locket that can only be opened by the girl he met 10 years ago that he promised to marry. And ever since that moment, he has never once talked to her again. And wow man, she must have really made an impression on your 7-year-old ass. And if you're wondering, yes dear viewer, almost every fucking girl in this show has a goddamn random ass key. And they keep contemplating using this key on his lock. Like, just do it and find out. Like, how many women carry around random ass keys? But what's even more insulting is that the main girl, Chitoge, is the worst one of the bunch. She makes it very clear that she does not like him, yet is all tsundere whenever he interacts with the other girls. And to add insult to injury, all of the other girls are significantly more interesting to follow and are nicer to him. I cannot for the life of me remember a single defining trait of her. All she does is get mad at him. I honestly thought she was a bait and switch love interest at first. I would instead play the role in helping him figure out who he likes in the future and eventually becoming his friend. But yeah, I'm gonna spoil the ending, alright? Chitoge is the one that ends up with him. And even though I dislike this, it honestly would have been fine if instead of building up other girls, just to have them mean nothing in the end, and having these fucking keys be constantly mentioned, we could have just had them slowly come together naturally. And this trope even affects good shows. Baka To Test is one of my favorite comedy animes. It fully embraces its corny nature and the tropes it wants to make fun of. It is legitimately funny and has witty humor, and the English dub honestly elevates my viewing experience.
Hideyoshi, you want to go with me on Sunday?
No, it's supposed to be for a couple.
So then, are you saying that you don't like me?
I'm a guy.
Rejected!
It's pretty rare to get a good dub for an older show like this. And shout out to the VAs, man, they give a great performance. But anyways, this show presents two main love interests for our protagonist, Akihisa. We have the pink-haired Derede Himiji and the tsundere Minami. And while I like Minami a lot more, having her like him doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. We don't really get a good reason as to why she even likes him. She constantly hurts him whenever he teases her or makes fun of her. And despite how obvious it is that she likes him, he's a fucking idiot, so he never catches on. And it's a bit disappointing to me because she's a lot more fun to watch than Himiji. She gets a lot more scenes to show off her outgoing tomboy personality, and her rapport with the other cast members is a lot more fun to watch. All we really get from Himiji is her being the smart girl who can't cook, and whenever she misunderstands what Aki is doing with other girls, she hurts him. And the gag of girls hurting the guy over a misunderstanding is pretty overused in my opinion, but it's dialed to 11 here. His friend Yuji is already the one with a yandere girlfriend, and it's the butt end of a lot of abusive girlfriend jokes. It just feels a little redundant to have two of the guys get the ass beat, and at the same time, Akihisa shows interest in Himiji, and she shows interest in him as well. So naturally, you'd think they get closer and start dating, and within the 2 seasons, they don't. It seriously feels like the show has amnesia with this plot point. Aki makes it very clear to us that he's into her.
Basically, you're saying you want higher quality classroom equipment for Himeji.
Why do you have to be so blunt? You can't just say crap like that. It's embarrassing.
Whatever.
And she makes it very obvious that she likes him as well. Yet partway through the show, he just acts like her friend instead of a guy who likes her. He spends more time sipping over Hideyoshi and calling him pretty than the girl he likes.
Unbelievable. Why am I the round whore? Round?
What are you talking about, Hideyoshi? Do you see anyone else around here as pretty as you?
Good point, though you're aware I'm not a girl.
And if you're wondering, yes, there are somehow more people that also like him. This shit eventually becomes a love pentagon. Like, look at this diagram. I made it to illustrate this point because of how stupid it is. Minami's sister also likes him, as well as a hidden yaoi crush. Like, where the fuck did this come from? It felt so random. I just think it would have been more satisfying if only Himeji liked him and they slowly got together. But before we leave, here's a little bonus rant. And before we start, you might want to sit down, because it's a doozy. And you may have heard of this little show before. It's the anime man's favorite rom-com.
Why am I sitting next to someone who gave School Days a 10?
The School Days anime adaptation. For those of you who are blessed enough to not know what this is, it was originally a visual novel where you can choose which girl you want to romance. Pretty standard stuff, right? But out of all of the possible endings, which would have been fine to adapt, they decided to use the one where our main character sleeps with every possible girl in the show. And if you're wondering, he starts off as the most normal guy possible. He's just a teenager that is struggling to talk to his crush, and that's understandable. So he ends up asking his friend on how to talk to girls, who goes on practice dates with him, and it actually works. He starts dating his crush. How wholesome. But here's the kicker. He keeps going on these practice dates with her, and for some reason, it evolves into them practice fucking so he can do it properly with his girlfriend. And he ends up dating his fuck buddy as well. Like, okay, maybe the story can be about realizing who you actually love because she was right there, willing to do this all with you. And no, he continues to two-time these girls who both simultaneously want him. And by the end of it, he ends up with a third girl. Like, did we really need a love square situation? And somehow, he manages to piss off his second girlfriend so much that she decides to and right as he's clinging to life, he chooses to grab her boobs, and all of a sudden, it reminds her of the good times they had while she's just sitting in a pool of his blood. But don't worry, we're not done yet. The other girl he's been cheating on, his first girlfriend, finds out, his head off to keep for herself, and thinking the other girl might be pregnant with his kid, she decides to confront her, also wizard stab her, to find out if she was actually pregnant by her open. And all of this over a love triangle. But the thing is, it starts off so normal. For like the first third of the show, it's just him wanting to get with his crush and just doing normal high school stuff. But it slowly devolves into this clusterfuck of a mess that has our characters making the most ludicrous choices. By the end of it, our protagonist went from normal guy to a serial cheater scumbag that just wants to get laid all the time. Like, do you mean to tell me he became this guy within like 6 months? Like, this shit is borderline gory hentai plot. So yeah, if you want to ruin a few weekends of your life, just watch this show. It was genuinely painful to watch this again. And while I have plenty more examples I could go over, it would literally drag the video for like another 8 years and get very redundant. But let me know what you guys think as well. Do you enjoy this trope and the kinds of stories they can tell? Or do you dislike it like me and prefer when it focuses on one main couple?